Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you're having a good day so far, and if you are, good for you. But you're probably wondering what happened to the bumper here on the Integra and why I'm holding a piece of it. Well, let me ask you, you ever seen a javelina? And if you haven't, here's a picture of a javelina. Now, they don't look too crazy, but let me tell you, the town that I come from, Payson, Arizona, which is more up north of where I am now, about an hour and a half, javelina are everywhere. I've seen them before, never really had an issue with them. But they're pretty big little pig boar thing whatevers, and they're beefy. And last night I was out at the canyon just doing my thing, having some fun, and obviously nature is everywhere. Obviously gonna have issues here and there. Everybody's gonna end up running into something occasionally at some point, whatever, down at the canyon, whether you're in Arizona, whether you're in Alaska. There's bound to be animals, things in the road that you can't control, and this was our third run of the night. We were on our way to the back of the canyon to head out so we could just go home because it was like 1 in the morning, and I didn't want to be the leader, so I decided to follow the back of the pack, and I was on the tail of an RX-8 that I was chasing, and then we came into a turn and I went to let off throttle, and as soon as I let off throttle and put some space between the cars, a big old fat boy javelina decided to suicide bomb me. So this is the outcome of that. Thankfully, it is just the bumper and this turn signal right here that got damaged. The fenders popped up a little bit, but I think it's because my bolts are a little stripped and it probably just pushed the bolts up a little bit. And then it pulled the bumper support out on that side, which I just re-tapped that the other week. So I need to find a 92, 93 bumper. But really, guys, on the bright side, I am just glad that nothing else happened. I was able to maintain control of the car. It kind of put me in the other lane, which was scary, but just a quick steer, I was able to correct it right away. So you can see, the bumper is totally obliterated. The lip, the canard, all of it. This is all, obviously it doesn't mount up there, but yeah, it pulled the threads out of here. But other than that, yeah, I was able to just use my shoelace. I tied it back up, drove it home last night. But I really had no time to react. Like, I barely even saw the shadow of what was this javelina. So let me insert the picture here for you of the javelina. The worst part of it is it flung poo everywhere. So it chipped off the paint off the side skirt. Not a big deal because this is just SEM trim paint. So it's really easy to do. I'll just scuff it up and reshoot it. Not a big deal. And then got doo-doo all over the wheel, so I'm about to power wash that all off. Got it down the side of the car in the wheel well with some hair. Disgusting. Got it on the fender. Ugh, gross. So my brother's gonna come by a little bit later today and actually detail the car for me. But in the meantime, I'm just gonna soak this with some degreaser on the wheel and give it a good power wash to get that off. And before anybody says anything derogative or negative or whatever in the comments, I know there are risks with running open roads like that, public roads, and you know, that's why I'm not too bummed about it. I do have a replacement bumper. I still have my 9091 front bumper. Let me go show you that really quick. So I still got this front bumper. It's really dirty, obviously, but it's all there. I don't know if, like, after you open paint or reducer or harden or anything, if it goes bad, but if it doesn't, then I've still got some of the Captiva blue that I can shoot the other front bumper with, and I'll just rock the 9091 front bumper until I can find another 92, 93. It's no big deal. You live. Car thankfully didn't have anything else. The alignment's still good. Nothing else got damaged, just the bumper, and I'm very thankful for that. So if you guys ever go out and run, or for those of you that do go out and run, just know that always expect something to happen. Just prepare for the worst, you know, type situation. First time for me this has happened. Anything negative has happened to me on the canyon, other than a few weeks ago I was at another canyon and I accidentally ripped my bumper off, kind of in the same way, but I was making a U-turn and I wasn't paying attention. I like hit a little dirt mound and pulled the bumper off. But yeah, easily fixable. Just bummed. But today we're going to be working on the Miata some more. So more sanding. Ammon's going to come by, and Ammon is going to be able to finish up his little Vitara build today. And yeah, anyways, I'll quit talking. I'll let you guys see. I don't want to film too much of the sanding. Obviously, you know how to sand. I don't want to bore you with that. So I'll just do a little bit of here, a little bit of there, and I'll let you guys know when Ammon and potentially AD get here so we can finish up that engine of his and get him on his way so that way he can get home, get it in the car. Ow, fuck! Well, AD showed up, and we're out here working on Dominic's car. He stopped by this morning because he was having some plug issues and some check engine lights. So we got that sorted out right away. Just had to clear the codes because he had actually figured it out himself already. And then I took him for a ride in the Del Sol, and now he wants to boost his car before he goes K-Series. And Ammon is supposed to be on his way, so yeah, just figured I'd update you guys a little bit. 80's, like I said, setting the timing on his. It's advanced a bit, and get it running a little smoother. And then we'll do some Miata stuff. Alright, so Sam and Ammon showed up, and he's got the last of his goodies, so he can get this motor taken home today. Freshly powder coated valve cover.
Oh, it's over there.
Courtesy of AD.
No, his is over there.
Oh yeah, but to replace this, distributor, manifold, injectors, and all that. Timing belt. You can take this thing home. We can finally drop it in too.
That's right, man. Start it up. You can boost it.
Yeah. I'll break it in and then boost it, right?
Yeah, I'll break it in for a week or two and then boost it.
First startup, redline it, ping it,
yeah.
Warm it up.
Yeah, warm it up.
AD just took off. I didn't realize that this was going to be such a quick thing. But they got Ammon's motor all tidied up, so
woo, woo.
It's finally ready to go home. Slap a manifold on it, get an exhaust manifold on it, get in the car, mate the transmission. Obviously he's going to clean that up at his house, but yeah, this thing's finally ready. So you can drop it in. Probably be doing that here in a couple weekends, I would assume, right?
Yeah, and then in like 3 or 4 weeks we'll be freaking Boost City.
Yeah, so this thing, I have laid some more Bondo. Got a little bit more on this side just to try and smooth it. Still need the glaze coat, but whatevs. Started sanding the front bumper. Found a little bit more Bondo from an apparent shave job of the front emblem, but I found some low spots for whatever reason, so I just filled those, waiting for that to cure. And this panel, I just laid the last coat for sure of filler, just waiting for it to cure. Sand it away. This is good. I'll lay some primer over it just to, you know, cover the bare metal. And yeah, just more of all this garbage. And Chris Carey is going to be possibly coming over. He's texting me right now, so maybe see if he wants to come hang out for a little bit. We might do something else today since it is his last day in Arizona for a while, and maybe go drive, maybe do something. We'll see. I got some primer laid down on this fender, a little runny just because I forgot the panel was cold, but it looks fantastic, a million times better than the other one. I just laid a little bit of Bondo on these little low spots that I pulled here on the fender. The bumper, I just finished laying my other coat and sanding it, so the bumper is all good, just obviously got to finish sanding it. And Roy has showed up, and he's actually in the middle of doing the skim coat, and it's already coming out way better and looks much more even, so he's going to finish working that. Obviously we got to let it cure, give it some sanding, and then once this is skimmed and it's good to go, it's level, then all's well and ends well, and I can just focus on sanding the rest of the car. I'll pop the bumpers and stuff off and, you know, get in there. When I go to actually paint it, I'll do the door jambs, I'll try and do the sides of the doors, I'll pop the tail lights out and all that, and pop the headlights out and get everything done and make it look nice, and try and be as professional about this as I can.
Perfect. Get rid of this. We don't need this anymore.
It's really unfair that during the summer this whole part of my driveway is engulfed in sun the entire day, and now that it is winter and I need some sunlight, especially for the metal to warm up, there's no sunlight to be found, so I had to move the car to the back of the driveway here. I just laid a little bit more Bondo because there was a little bit of air pockets over some of the skim spots, so, you know, just fill that up. I sanded it down with 180, 150, something like that, doing that. So I grabbed my other bumper here. I'm gonna go ahead and slap this on because this whole thing needs to be washed. I still need to finish getting the rest of the blood and stuff off the side. And my brother left me some of his detail stuff, like for foam can and all that, whatnot. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the bumper swapped out real fast. Pull this forward, wouldn't wash it while the Bondo is curing on that because it's a little cold. Well, it's on there. I had to switch bumper bars back there because I guess I had the wrong one, and the one that was with this bumper over there is actually bent, so had to make it work. I guess I sold my turn signals, so I just zip tied the bulb there, And I'm missing the connector because it exploded with the turn signal on the other bumper, so yeah, about that. So I just got the connector there, so it is what it is. I'll just have to order some new ones. They're on eBay for like 20 bucks, but it just needs a good wash now. So once I get back from running some errands, I'll go ahead and hose this thing off and get it cleaned up, but overall it doesn't look too bad. So for this last part of this video, I don't know, I just got home from work and I think you guys can already hear the car. Del Sol's normally not supposed to be this loud. So I'm guessing you guys already know what happened, and that would be that the exhaust manifold finally failed. Let me get some light on that. Yeah, I don't think there's any fixing that. So before anybody goes and starts yelling in the comments about using the eBay manifold or the I told you so's that it would break, alright, let me be fair. I did brace it and it has held up pretty darn good for the last like 3 months since I've been boosted, and I beat on this car and I daily drive it. It gets 70 miles a day basically, if not more, depending on if I have errands to run. So I'm surprised it lasted this long, and this morning I noticed my AFRs at idle were really lean, so I knew something was up, so I popped the hood at lunch and Robert had found that the manifold was cracked, so I figured I'd limp it home, and then about 3/4 of the way home it got really stinky and really loud, so I knew that wasn't a good sign. So I don't think there's any fixing this now. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I'm still probably going to pop this off and try and fix it, and then run it as long as I can until I can get the manifold that I'm swapping it out with, but I don't have the money for that. It's 350 bucks, plus I have to change up some intercooler piping to run it, because I have to route it all differently, so this kind of sucks. This kind of puts this car out of commission until this is fixed. But I'm going to let this cool off for a little while. I'm going to pull the manifold off and see if I can't try and get it to go back together in one way or another. Well, there's the top piece. And there's the bottom part of the flange. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean this all up, get the edges clean, flatten out that. I'm gonna have to cut these little pieces off here and then reattach them myself, so. Got the flange decently cleaned up. I kind of just left some of the weld there because it does sit nicely back with the manifold, so kind of difficult to do with one hand, but yeah, you can see it sits in there nice how it's supposed to. So I'm gonna go ahead and use the TIG welder and go around it, and then I'll double it up with the MIG, and then I'll go on the inside of it as well and try and hit it with the MIG, and then maybe bevel it out with the Dremel or something. But just gonna try and make it last a few more months, or even like maybe 2 months, until I can just get caught up on bills, get the Miata stuff taken care of, and then get this other manifold. I want to give a big shout out to Young Static, Dana. He's been such a huge help with anything like this. Like anytime I start getting freaked out because something breaks like this, he's always like, well, you got the tools to fix it, so do this. And you know, it always works. So I'm confident that this will work. At least, like I said, this is just a temporary fix. Bear with me, don't make fun of me. I told you, I knew from the start, you guys were right, and I never said you were wrong, but I figured it would break, I just wasn't sure when. And so, yeah. I guess as long as you got the tools to keep fixing things, I mean, you can make anything work, I guess. So So I know I should be back purging this, but I don't have a second bottle or a dual valve regulator, so I can't back purge this, which is why I don't offer stainless steel welding for some side work. I do aluminum and stuff and all MIG welding, but that's also the reason why I'm going over it with the MIG, to try and strengthen it just as much as I can. Because if you don't know, if you don't back purge, which is essentially let gas flow in there before you weld it on like stainless and titanium and stuff, then you get what's called sugaring. It's essentially just like the atmosphere, like the oxygen cools the inside of the weld before or something like that, and it just creates a weak weld, which is the issue with these manifolds in the first place. They're mass produced really quick, obviously little Chinese manifolds, and they don't back purge them and they don't get good enough penetration. So yeah. It's all welded up now. I even reattached these braces here. Actually, I'm gonna have to go in and attach those ones that go from here. But I did do all the way around the inside, which was definitely a pain in the butt, but it was really hard, honestly, to get the inside up here. But I did manage to get it. I just had to, I don't know how hot that is. It definitely doesn't look very professional. I am very new to TIG welding, especially steel. Aluminum, for whatever reason, comes a little bit more naturally for me, but the steel is definitely a trickery for me. But it's on there. I don't think it'll be going anywhere, at least for another week. But yeah, I'm gonna just get ready to slot this thing back on. I'm gonna go ahead and just add those two little braces here really quick, but I don't really need to film that. So when you see this, it'll be on the car again. All right, got the manifold all bolted back up now. I went ahead and, like I said, I welded on those extra braces there. It's all bolted up. It actually wasn't that hard to get back in the car with the turbo in the car. It's actually a lot easier than I thought it was. So it's all good to go now. I don't know where, oh, this is for my magnet tray. So let's fire it up really quick, make sure there's no leaks. Yeah. Definitely sounds quieter. I don't feel any air escaping, so I'd say that's a success. So we'll see how long this actually holds for. Again, couldn't back purge, so we'll see. But it is welded inside and out, so that should at least strengthen it that much more. Hopefully you guys found this somewhat enjoyable. But I am gonna call this a night here, and it's smoking something off. But alright guys, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and consider subscribing. And if you are subscribed, if you could turn on those post notifications, just because YouTube doesn't like to push my videos, or most people's videos for a matter of fact, but you know, whatever. Yeah, do what you love, good about the rest. See you in the next one. Peace.